Welcome to Mindgeist. My name is Sarah and I'll be taking you through a 1-hour Yin Yoga class today for the shoulders and hips. Yin Yoga gently works the body's connective tissues through a series of slow, deep stretches, focusing on the hips, spine and lower back. Yin draws you in, slowly and mindfully. It's a wonderful approach to your mental and emotional well-being. A Yin Yoga practice is a slower, deeper practice that increases flexibility and opens the body. Yin Yoga is great for increasing mobility. Nearly half of your flexibility originates in your joints. Yin Yoga can help create and maintain a balanced body and lifestyle. In Yin Yoga, you are given choices on how to do the pose. Everybody is different, so what works for some people may not work for others. It is up to you to experiment with each pose to see what works for you. If you find any pose creates pains, do not continue. Just lie on your back or go into child's pose until the next pose. You do need tension for Yin Yoga, but not pain. You decide what is good for your body. This is what is most powerful about Yin Yoga. Today you may need a bolster or rolled up towel, a cushion, a block or a book, and a warm blanket or warm clothing for our last pose, Shavasana. Please enjoy the next 60 minutes of the powerful, healing and beautiful practice of Yin Yoga. The next pose is broken wing. This pose is a very effective pose for the neck and shoulders. I've used it many times. It's my go-to pose when I have stiff neck or stiff shoulder blades. If you only have 7 minutes, do this one for your neck and shoulders. It's a great pose to release shoulder blade tension in the back. Start this pose on your hands and knees. Place your left arm under your right arm as if you're hugging yourself. Then bring yourself down to a lying position. Your head is placed in the most comfortable position towards the ground as far as you can place it. Keep your legs relaxed and a comfortable distance apart. Feet in any position that feels right. Now you can adjust your arms and pull them out further if you feel you require more tension. If not, just stay in this position. We have 3 minutes on each side. Now we're halfway through, and just noting that the pose is responsible for mobility in the shoulders, back and neck. And remember, in Yin Yoga, if any tension arises that you're uncomfortable with, you can come out of the pose, go into child's pose and come back. Or if you don't want to come back into broken wing, you can just stay in child's pose for the rest of the pose. Now with your breathing, try and breathe into the area of the pose that you're doing. So taking your breath into your scapula, into your neck, into your shoulders, your arms and chest. Breathe in to those areas. So take the focus into those areas. We've got 30 seconds on this side. You may find that your head can be placed on the ground or nowhere near it. Just make sure you're in a comfortable position for your head. Now, changing sides, start the pose again on your hands and knees. Place your right arm under your left arm as if you're hugging yourself, and bring yourself down to a lying position. The head is placed in the most comfortable position towards the ground as far as you can place it, and keep your legs relaxed and a comfortable distance apart. Feet in any position that feels right. And again, you can adjust your arms. Pull them further out, further in, if you require more tension or less tension. If not, stay as you are. Now, another minute to go. You may notice that each side is different. This side might be more stressful or less stressful than the other side. That's just the way your body is. Now, some days your pose will be very easy, other days more difficult. It also depends if you do your yin yoga in the morning or at night. In the morning, you're more stiff. At night, you're less stiff. Now remember, you can come out of the pose for a brief break, coming into child's pose. Or if you need to stay out of the pose for the next minute or so, you can come back into child's pose anytime you like. We've got 30 seconds. Now, coming out of the pose, you can lie flat on your stomach, or you can roll back onto your back in a resting position for a minute. Lying on your back for rebound, this part of the practice is in some ways the most important because it is the chance for you to completely relax and observe the subtle movements and changes within your body. So take the next minute to truly listen to your body, to let go, and let the body melt away. Now taking your arms above your head and doing a big stretch right through to your toes. Take a deep breath. And now we're ready for the next pose. This pose is for the shoulders and is called eagle arms. It will take 6 minutes, 3 minutes on each side. In a comfortable seated position, sitting on the floor or on a bolster, bring your right elbow out in front of your left elbow. Try to wrap the arms as tightly as you can and see whether you can bring your palms together. If you can't do this, just fake it. Now lift your arms slightly to add flexion at the shoulders. Notice where you're feeling this. We are abducting the arms and the scapula. This pose is great for those computer-tight shoulders. If you would like to go for more intensity, try leaning forward and resting your elbows on a bolster, a book, or a block. Now with any pose in Yin Yoga, if it becomes too intense, just pull your arms slightly apart. Or you can come out of the pose and go back in. It's up to you. And we're halfway through now. You might be ready to lean forward to try more intensity now. Resting your elbows on a bolster, a book or a block, or just forward in the air. See how you go with that. And you can also do this pose anytime standing, sitting at your desk. Either way, you get the same intensity. Coming up to 3 minutes and sitting up and opening your arms really wide and creating a bit of a back bend and opening your heart. Breathe in. Breathe out, and now you're ready for the other side. Place the other arm under this time. Trying to wrap the arms as tightly as you can and see whether you can bring your palms together. If you can't do this, just fake it. And remember, each side is different. The one side you might find you're a yogi, and the next side you're just a beginner. Each side of the body is often very different to the other. Depends whether you're right-handed, left-handed, or just how your body runs. And remember to breathe into the area of the scapula and the shoulders. And seeing if there's more space there now. Another 2 minutes to go. And remember to lift your arms slightly to add flexion at the shoulders. So pulling your arms up, seeing if you notice a difference there. Halfway through now. If you'd like to get more intensity, just lean a bit forward. And you can rest your elbows on a bolster, book or block, or just push them a little bit forward for that added tension. See how you go with that. And remember to breathe in to the area of the scapula, the shoulders, and the chest. To see how your breath can create space in that area. on the home stretch now. We've got 30 seconds to go. Now sitting up, open your arms really wide, creating a huge back bend and opening your heart and taking a deep breath. Now we're ready to go into a resting position. Lying on your back for rebound, arms by your side and legs relaxed. The rebound allows you to observe the changes in your body, the new space that you created, and to allow you to feel the space and to shift your mental state as a result of the pose you just completed. So take a moment to still the mind and the body so that you can naturally, with little effort, bring yourself back to a state of equilibrium. Now taking a deep breath, do a big stretch and get yourself ready for the next pose. The next pose is banana. The primary intention of this pose is to open up the lateral side of the torso, neck and hips with a side flexion. We'll be here for 3 minutes on each side. Lying on your back with your legs together and straight on the floor, reach your arms over your head and clasp your hands or elbows. With your buttocks firmly glued on the floor, move your upper body to the right. When you've gone as far as you can go, then move your legs to the right. After maintaining this, try crossing your ankles. With the outside ankle over the inner ankle, creating the most stress, or the other way round, depending on your body type. Try both out. Be careful not to twist or roll your hips off the floor, and just find your edge. And as your body opens up more, move your feet to the right and then your upper body. This is a great stretch for the whole side of the body, working the spine in a side bend from the IT band to the top of the side rib cage. And breathing in and breathing out, make sure that your breath goes to the side of your body. So wherever you're stretching, take that breath where the stretch is. And the breath can help to open up that area even further. You've only got 30 seconds to go on this side. Now changing sides. Again, lying on your back, reach your arms over your head and clasp your arms or elbows. With your buttocks firmly glued on the floor, move the upper body now to the left. Then when you've gone as far as you can go, move your legs to the left. Then crossing your ankles anyway. Try not to twist or roll your hips off the floor. And remember to breathe into the left side of your body. So taking your breath from the IT band to the top of the side rib cage and getting that stretch for the whole side of your body. And we're halfway through this side now. And try not to twist or roll the hips off the floor, and you'll notice the difference in each side. Nana is a wonderfully relaxing shape to be in. And we've got another 30 seconds to go on this side. Breathing in to the left side of your body. Breathing out of the left side of your body. And moving out of the pose, move your legs to a straight position and bring your arms down. Now resting in corpse pose. Lying on your back with your arms by your side, palms up and your legs relaxed. Now is the rebound time, to be still and to listen inwards. Your chance to observe the after effects of the pose. You may notice the changes in your skin and bones, but also your heart and mind. Allow these changes to sink deeply. Now take a deep breath. Stretching your arms and legs. And get ready for the next pose. The Yin Yoga posture of sleeping swan pose or pigeon pose creates external rotation in the front leg and targets the quads and hip flexors. It's also a back bend, which compresses the lower back and can help maintain the health of the spine. We'll be doing 3 minutes on each side. Begin on all fours and pull one leg out in front. You can start with your front foot close to your inner groin. If your hips are more open, you can take greater external rotation in the front leg by drawing your foot up towards the front of your mat. If you have space under your hip, use a blanket or other soft prop to support you. As you move into the posture, rest your weight in your hips. Be sure there is minimal pressure on the front knee. Press your hands to rock your weight back into your hips. If the front knee is sensitive, flex your front foot and press your ankle into the floor gently to relieve pressure. If the pose is now comfortable, lean forward and rest your head on the floor or a prop. We're halfway through on this side. Remembering to breathe into the lower back area and your hips. Breathing into the area you are working on can help you create more space in this area. We have 30 seconds to go. And coming out of the posture, tuck your back toes under, inhale and pull your front leg back. Changing sides, and again begin on all fours. Pull one leg out in front. You can start with your front foot close to your inner groin. And if your hips are more open, you can take greater external rotation in the front leg by drawing your foot up towards the front of the mat. You can play around with this and remember that every side is different. Now, if you have space under your hip, use a blanket or other soft prop to support you. As you move into the posture, remember to rest your weight in your hips and be sure there is minimal pressure on the front knee. Press into your hands to rock your weight back into your hips. If your front knee is sensitive, flex your front foot and press your ankle into the floor gently to relieve the pressure. And if this pose is now comfortable, you can lean forward and rest your head on a floor or the prop. Remembering that each side may be different. You may be a yogi on one side and a beginner on the other. And each day is different. You may be yogi one day and a beginner the next. And coming up to another minute to go on this side. And remembering to breathe into the lower back area and your hips, and breathing into the areas you're working on can help you to create more space in the area. And remember, in Yin Yoga you can actually sigh out and you can actually scream out if you like. Remembering that when it's all over, the relief will be 100 times more beautiful than what you're experiencing now. We've got 30 seconds to go on this side. So coming out of this posture, tuck your back toes under, inhale and pull your front leg back. And we'll be resting in child's pose for the next pose. Now coming into the restful child's pose. Coming into the pose, begin by sitting on your heels and slowly fold forward. Bring your chest to your thighs and place your forehead on the floor. Hands can go by your side or above your head. You can also place your head on a pillow or bolster, or you can drape your whole body across the bolster or have the bolster long ways. Whatever suits how you feel right now. With child's pose, we are targeting the spine and hips in flexion. A secondary target area are the knees and ankles. If you have any issues with your knees or ankles, place a towel or blanket under them. Child's pose is a healing, restful pose which you can come into any time a rest is needed. It's a very soothing pose if you're feeling cold, anxious or vulnerable. Anytime during Yin Yoga, you can come out of the pose and go into this child's pose if you're finding the pose too intense. Remember, it is your body, and every single body is different, and every single yoga session is different. Your body is yours to look after. We're halfway through a 3-minute child's pose. With another minute to go, relax now into the heavenly space that is child's pose. Gently coming out of the pose, we now get ourselves ready for the next pose. The next pose is Sphinx or Seal. For this pose, you have a choice of Sphinx or Seal. The difference is Sphinx rises from the elbows and Seal rises from the hands. It's your choice. We'll go through both of them. The target areas for this pose are the sacral lumbar spine, then the front torso. We're here for 3 minutes. Start in Sphinx and lie down on your belly. Move your elbows just ahead of your shoulders. Propping yourself up, notice how this feels in your lower back. If the sensations is too strong, move your elbows further ahead, lowering your chest closer to the floor. This may be enough stress for the lower back for you. If you require more stress or it just doesn't work for you, you can come up onto your hands for Seal. Turn your hands outward and straighten your arms, locking the elbows, which are okay to hyperextend. You may find the greater amount of compression in seal if your hands are not right under your shoulders but slightly forward. Some people find seal harder and more intense and others prefer it. It's up to you. You experiment. For either pose, experiment with how far apart your legs are. You can also place a bolster or rolled up towel under your armpits or under your hips. Once settled, you can lower your head or drop it if your neck feels stressed. And throughout the pose, take a deep breath which rises from your hips all the way up to the crown of your head. And with another minute to go, remember breathing from your hips all the way up to the crown of your head. And you can move from seal to sphinx or vice versa. "30 seconds to go. And gently coming up. And get ready for the next pose by going into your rest position. Lying on your back with arms by your side, palms up and your legs relaxed for rebound. Now is the time to invite new energy into the spaces you've created. Be still and notice what is happening inside your body, inside the skin, the bones, the joints, the tendons, and the fascia. Observe the changes in your body, the physical, emotional, mental, and the subtle shifts in the release. Be still. Now open your eyes, deep stretch. Deep breath. And get yourself ready for the next pose. Next up is Happy Baby Pose. This pose gently brings a greater awareness to your hip joints. We'll be in this pose for 3 minutes. Now lying on your back, with an exhale, bend your knees into your belly. Inhale, grip the outsides of your feet with your hands. If you're having difficulty holding the feet directly with your hands, hold on to a belt looped over each sole. Open your knees slightly wider than your torso, then bring them up towards your armpits. You need to position each ankle directly over the knee, so your shins are perpendicular to the floor. Flex through the heels. Gently push your feet up into your hands or the belt as you pull your hands down to create a resistance. And we're halfway through, and noting that this pose gently stretches the inner groins and the back spine. It also calms the brain and helps relieve stress and fatigue. You might find that rocking from side to side helps a lot. And don't forget to gently push your feet up into your hands or the belts as you pull your hands down to create a resistance. And remember, when you're breathing, breathe into the area, that happy baby pose. We've got 30 seconds, nearly there. And coming out and collapsing onto the floor. Lying in rebound, arms by your side and legs relaxed. Observing the changes in your body, the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the subtle shifts in the release. Listening to your breath. Listening to your heartbeat. Listen to your body. Feel your breath. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your body. Be still. Now taking a deep breath. And take a big stretch. Arms above your head. Legs stretched out. Get yourself ready for the next position. The next pose we're doing is called wide-angled seated forward fold. The seated forward fold gives the whole back of the body a good stretch, from your calves to your hamstrings to your spine. Sit on the floor on a bolster or a rolled up towel. Place your legs as wide as you can apart. You can bend your knees. The most important part is to get an extension in the lower back before you start folding forward. So you will need to sit completely upright before you start to move forward. You can place your hands by your hips and sit up as straight as you can to begin with. Take a deep breath and slowly, start to walk yourself forward with your hands. Once you find your sweet spot, stay there. Don't be concerned if you cannot go very far, as we will be here for 3 minutes and your body will adjust in that time. As you begin to deepen your breath, relax into the posture. And you might find you can move towards the floor, relaxing your head. Let your whole body fall into the floor, melting into the floor. Let your legs and feet go, let it all go. Keep your muscles relaxed. Surrender to gravity. You can rest your head on a bolster or a block if you need less tension. You can rest your arms on the floor or on your legs. You can place a bolster under your knees. You can also bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight. Remember, this is your body and you choose how to do this pose. We've got another minute to go. Remember to breathe deeply into the whole of your spine, your hamstrings and your legs. And in Yin Yoga, you can sigh and scream out at any time if you like. 30 seconds to go. Now coming out very, very slowly, bringing yourself back to the resting rebound pose for our last blissful pose, Shavasana. Now is the time to gain the rewards of your intense Yin Yoga session. With your hands by your side, palms up, legs as wide as is comfortable for you. Bending your knees may help your lower back to relax. Make sure you're warm enough and cover yourself with a blanket. A rolled up towel may help under your knees. Begin by letting your body become open. Allow your feet to fall away any way that feels right. You may want to roll your head from side to side a few times to find the right spot for your head. Once you've settled the body, it's time for deep relaxation. Feel your body touching the floor. Feel your body in the space of the room, beneath the room, the building floor. Feel the earth beneath you and sink slowly into the earth. Imagine your body is sinking into the earth and beneath the earth. Notice your breath sinking your body, your head, your shoulders, your arms, your torso, your hips, your legs, your feet, sinking further and further into the earth. Breathing in and breathing out. And if thoughts arise, and they will, just sweep the thoughts away. Sweep the thoughts away. Breathing in and out. In and out. Now your body is melting into the floor, melting away. Notice the space you've created in your body. Notice the release of the tension you created in your body. Let the tension release and melt away. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And if thoughts arise, sweep the thoughts away. Now allowing your breath to deepen, become longer. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Rolling your head from side to side, moving your wrists and feet in circles in both directions to stimulate energy flow again. Hug your knees to your chest and squeeze tightly. Waking up by stretching your whole body. Lie back, take a deep breath, fill your lungs and stretch as far as your arms and legs can take you. Push and pull yourself longer and longer, and then release a loud, sighing Hug your knees to your chest and roll to your right side. Pause here for a moment and let the energy settle. When you're ready, spiral up to the sitting position and bow your head. Your Yin Yoga session is now complete, and thank you for doing yoga with Sarah and Mindgeist.